What's happening, people? Welcome to Man United Unfiltered podcast episode 4, I believe. We didn't do last week because it was jam-packed within the games. Atalanta, I think another game was in there. I think it was in Leicester or something. I can't quite remember. But it's been a minute. We've got about an hour to kind of dissect this all. If that's enough time, we'll see. But I'm going to introduce a guest that will unpack this. Adam, how are you doing, Adam? Everything okay?
Yeah, good. I'm all right, bro. I'm all right. I'm all right as all right as you can be as a United fan, but good.
Well, that's it. We have to look out for each other, man. You know what I mean? It's desperate times out here. Charlie, how are you, mate? Everything all right over there?
All good, apart from United, mate.
Literally. And Musa, man, how you been holding? I see the voice notes, man. You've been animating and that, man. It's been a minute, man.
Fuming. I'm fuming. I got this exhibition at the Tate Modern on Saturday, down here in London by the riverbank, but I just haven't been able to think straight with this United stuff. I've just been waiting to see what's really going on, but yeah, United.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna start off with you, Adam, first. Lifeline for Ole. Ole's been given 3 more games. He could be given 1. He don't know. You know what I mean? There's been a couple of people that's given their 2 pence. One that's been Alex Ferguson saying give him time. But yeah, Ole's been given a lifeline after that 5-0. Is it comprehensible to you?
No, it isn't. But I think he's sacked. I think he's gone. It's just they are not so sure about Conte, and they are just trying to boost the team morale for the next game, just before they make the decision and they sort out everything. And Sir Alex Ferguson, I believe in this situation, is just used by the Glazers as like a PR spin. Like Sir Alex is behind the man, and so the fan base won't abuse the board as much, won't abuse the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as much. We won't criticize too much because Sir Alex Ferguson is involved. And just this is how we do. Sir Alex Ferguson is a father figure for the entire fan base. So this is what they are trying to do. I'm pretty sure Sir Alex Ferguson did not want to go. He left the stadium. They are just spinning this PR just to make it more easy to digest for us for the next game week or so. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is leaving. I'm pretty sure about it. There's nothing you cannot. It's like if you're asking me to learn how to do I don't know whatever in a week. Like I can't suddenly learn to be competent at something in a week.
Yeah.
Give me 3 games, give me 10 games. Doesn't matter. Ole is leaving. He's leaving. But if you ask me, this week has been the most embarrassing week ever, Saeed. This is beyond an embarrassment. And people are saying no one saw Liverpool 5, United 0 coming. The problem we did. It was that's the problem. The signs were there. They were there. And we said it against Leipzig last season. I said, Leipzig are going to smash us. And it just didn't quite happen. They outplayed us in the second leg. We said City will smash us. They win, but not like a fight. It was always coming. And now, like Leicester 4-2, Liverpool 5-0. Like everything is coming in. And the signs were there for quite a while. So it's proper embarrassing. Proper embarrassing.
Charlie, you were there, man. I met you before the game. And did you predict? What did you predict before I showed you the team news? What did you predict?
Well, before the team news, I thought it'd be 1-1, and then
then I showed you the team news, didn't I?
Yeah, and then you showed me the team news, and I said Liverpool will win 3-1. Just because you cannot play this obsession that he's got with playing so many attacking players, I just don't understand it. Now, Manchester City are an exception. Manchester City can do it because they're drilled so well and they're so technical. They keep the ball so well. But even though they play so many attacking players, everybody has a role defensively off the ball. If you look at our team, then you look at Liverpool, you could argue only play with 2 forwards. You could class Firmino as an attacking midfield player. So even though they only play with 2 forwards, those 2 forwards still do defense. They still have defensive responsibility. They start the press. I say we play 4 forwards because I count Bruno as a forward. We play with 4 forwards, and Bruno does his own work. He is not. There's no sort of reasoning behind. There's no coaching behind it. And the other 3 do jack shit. They don't do anything. They don't. And we play with 4 forwards, and virtually hardly any of them do any defensive work or start the press or press as a team. So it was coming against two of the best fullbacks in the world. You're playing two wide players who are very, very poor in terms of their defensive responsibility. Now, that's not always their fault. You know, this is something they need to be taught. You look at Salah and Mane, the way that Klopp has got them to work off the ball. But yeah, it was carnage. It was coming. You can't play. This 4-2-3-1. It's more like a 4-2-4. You know, on goal kicks.
You know what, Charlie? It's like a 6-0-4, mate. It's empty in the middle.
Yeah, it's suicide. It's absolute suicide. So yeah, I wasn't surprised to see that coming at all. I didn't think we'd lose 5. I thought we'd lose 3-1. I thought we'd lose quite comfortably, but it was an embarrassment. It really was. And I was actually booing at half time. I was shouting,
same.
I was shouting, Ollie this, Ollie that, because I felt so passionate, and nobody around me questioned me. Nobody around me challenged me, which sort of told the tale of how the tides turn inside of Old Trafford. But as Adam said, the events that have happened are just ludicrous. They really are. I mean, the amount of reports that have come out about Ollie, you know, even Eric Bailly, you can hardly get a game. He's even had a pop at him saying, "Why didn't you play me?" And rightly so. In the Leicester game, it's just so silly. And what's quite funny is I think a lot of us saw this coming for a while, but it was quite funny that when I was sort of criticising the coaching for a long time, I was being called, "Oh, you're a kid, you don't know, you're a Twitter coach, you haven't got a UEFA B license." But actually, a lot of us, we were just right all along. You know, we were given abuse, and I take no pride in being right. I'd rather be proved wrong and Ollie have done well. But those people who just, you know, those people that just say, "Oh, you don't know what happens in training." We do know what happens in training. We've seen the crap football we play on the pitch, and finally we're getting reports that McKenna's an academy coach and Ollie this, Ollie that. So it's quite. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. You have to laugh. Actually cried. Yeah. I nearly cried a few days ago about it. It's just you just have to laugh.
Yeah, man. It's true.
Yeah.
And also, man, you know, we did a podcast, was it 2 weeks ago, where we talked about Man United exposed, and we talked about all these kind of things. Mate, they were laid bare against Liverpool. Literally everything we said 100%. Was laid bare to the fullest, mate. What do you make 100%. At the minute? The mess at United. It is a mess, isn't it?
It is a mess, and I just feel like the scoreline against Liverpool. We saw similar scorelines like last year. I think, what did Tottenham give us? A 6-1?
6-1, yeah.
So Tottenham gave us a 6-1 last year, and that's when Ollie panicked because he tried to go in there with a 4-3-3, I think, thinking, yeah, I'm the man. I know how to coach. We held a 6-1, and he said, nah, Fred and McTominay, you're in. Ever since then, he hasn't looked back. And that's what, what's his name, Noureddin always says. Ever since that game, he had nightmares. About that game. He never looked back. And then also last year we saw Liverpool hold 7, I think, from Villa. Yeah, so you can hold a hiding, but when you hold it from your rivals, when you've got a bench that looks better than the actual team itself in certain positions, and then you also have a summer that we've had, and then you also have a fan base who's saying, "Ollie, we're going to support you, we're behind you, but what you've done so far has been good, but if you want to go to the next level, sack your backroom staff and go and get some of the world's best." That's the only other option the Man United fan base was giving Ollie. Those who were like, because a lot of people think that Ollie outs had no time for Ollie. Now, we all had time for Ollie because Ollie is a club legend in terms of what he's done for us playing as a player. But we always said to Ollie is that you don't have the requirements to take Man United to the next level. So if you're clever enough, you're not going to play games. You're going to get rid of the backroom staff, and you're going to get some serious people in who know how to coach, who can actually just let you manage and let them coach. But he didn't do that. He stuck with them. So then it's come to the point where we're like, all right, cool. If you're going to do that, then we've got no option but to go on to the next level. We need someone else to do it. No one ain't got nothing against Ollie. I mean, we ain't got nothing. Like, why have we got anything against Ollie? We're just saying every department of Man United is world class when it comes to the football inside in terms of the players, and we've got like elite performers, except for the coaching staff and the manager. Like, it doesn't make sense. Exactly. Why go for some of the best players in the world? You know, some of the best facilities. We know our facilities are not they're still world class facilities, yeah. and then have a group of people who come to govern over that who just don't have the qualifications. It just doesn't make sense. Then the other arguments that he's learning on the job. Well, he's learned, and what we've learned on the job as well with Ole is that he can't win trophies. You know what I'm saying? He's learning on the job, but as a fan base, we're learning too. We're learning that Ole's not the guy. We've learned that. We've seen it. We don't have to be on the training ground. We've seen it on the weekends. And this is why, like another team like Liverpool, when Liverpool held 7 by Villa, it weren't let's get rid of Klopp because they knew it was a one-off. When we hold it, we know the reality. We know that he has to go because this is not a one-off. Do you know what I'm saying? This is not just, you know, a blip in our season. This is Ole. No. Yeah, this is Ole doing what Ole does. Yeah. So now we're at this space where we're at. And then the last week where the fan, like, it's like the club, I don't know what the club's doing. What are they waiting for? And then even the Alex Ferguson thing is, I think, to touch on the Alex thing, I would say that I think Alex backing Ole or saying give Ole more time. I think Alex is just being nice because Alex knows that more time doesn't help Ole.
No.
More time, that's just Alex saying give him more rope to hang himself, just so that I look like I supported him. Because saying to give someone like Ole more time, you're just giving him more rope to kind of hang himself. Because when you look, I don't know why people think we're going to beat Tottenham. Why does everyone think we're going to beat
That's what I said. I don't think so. I don't
know why people think we're going to beat Tottenham. What, like these guys just do low blocks. When do we break down these low blocks?
Exactly. Unless they bottle it, but I just don't see it happening. You know what I mean?
1 minute, guys.
Yeah, no worries. Adam, I'm going to ask you a question here because it's baffling, you know what I mean? And I don't know if you see the interview, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saying, when did you think it was damage limitations in terms of, and he said 4-0, you know what I mean?
Are you serious?
Yeah. I don't know if did you hear that quote, Charlie, when the Jeff Reeves asked him, he said, when do you think it was damage limitation? He said 4-0. And I was like, what?
Nah,
I would have said it after 2-0 because for me, we were just all over the place, mate. And that's the reality of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's reign is that he never seen danger signs. He never seen warning signs. He never quickly changed the in-game management tactically. His reign has all been kind of momentum for me. You know, when it's good feeling, everyone gets blindsided by it and everyone thinks, oh, everything's all rosy here. But then the real problems, everyone kind of masks it away because it's a good feeling. It's Ole. It's, you know, we're living it. You know what I mean? I just kind of you know, that's been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's downfall, hasn't it? The feeling that he's never, ever been able to kind of see the real warning signs, has he?
Exactly. And I said it many times, and I gave the example many times. Ole said himself he's not in charge of the coaching. So he's not in charge of the tactics of. So if he's not in charge of the tactics and the coaching staff, Carrick and McKenna, are not good enough, how do you expect him to know what to do comes game time? It's like, I always give this example on Twitter. It's like, when you're at school and trying to build a bridge with wooden sticks, like in science class or anything else. Somehow it holds the weight. Yeah. But if it starts cracking, you're not an engineer. You're like 10, 12 years old. You don't know how to. If it cracks, you don't know where and why it cracks.
Yeah.
And this is what happens with Ole. If it goes wrong, he doesn't know why it's going wrong. He doesn't. He can't. He has no impact on that. And as you said, and I think it's a very good point, Saeed. It's always momentum. And every single good run under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was fueled on enthusiasm and good vibes and not tactics. Every time. The first good one we had was as a caretaker when he came in and Jose left the club. It happens in every single sport. When the manager is sacked, you always have a bounce afterwards because the players the pride kicks in and you have a few weeks, few games of good results because you have that new manager bounce. And then the thing is, we started being very poor with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the moment he had enough time to implement something. Just at the moment he had enough time to be able to implement his style, his identity. So this is where it's starting to go wrong. So the first good period with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was as caretaker. February, when we won against PSG, we were already poor at the time. We were already playing badly. That game against PSG, the first leg, was embarrassing. The second leg, it was embarrassing, but we won. And then we went and Ole's
momentum, yeah, of course.
But he came in at the end of December February against PSG, we were already shocking. So we had like maybe just January of good result. People say the first 3 months of Ole. The first 3 months were not that good. Like the first month and a half, maybe. But and we were reactive as well during that period. It was not good enough. The second good period we had with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the post-lockdown. We signed Bruno.
Yeah.
We were very poor the moment before we signed Bruno. So Bruno came in.
Yeah, we were.
We had the lockdown like few weeks afterward, not much.
And then we had that City game, wasn't it? And then that kind of gave us a little bit of hope.
Exactly. The City game, and then we had the lockdown. And when we came back from lockdown with no fans and that, we had a good period that lasted for like 5 games. Because afterward, we struggled to get the top 4, like the final game against Leicester. And that period where we had a good run, Matic came back, Pogba came back, Martial came back, Rashford came back. All of the good
came back. Yeah.
And when all of the good players are there, the best players are always Matic, Pogba, and Martial. Those are always our 3 best performers when we have good runs. And just take a look at it. When Ole first got the job, Martial, Pogba, Matic, instrumental. The second time, Matic, Pogba, Martial, instrumental. Rashford, not good at the time. Always. Greenwood had a good patch, but Greenwood, I think, is just a very good player. I like Greenwood. But still, the players people believe are good are not the ones that are actually the most important to the team. And then we had another time where we had like a good performance. It's always based on, it's always fueled on enthusiasm. And it always runs out after like 4 or 5 results. It's never consistent. Why? Because it's not based on a solid foundation. It's not like this is how we play. You go there, you go there. When we lose the ball, you do this. When we win the ball, you do that. It's never that. It's like, okay, now we come back from lockdown. We miss the fans, the Old Trafford, the Stretford end. Let's go. Have good results. New signing. Bruno comes in. We come back, this, that, good vibes. We get a few good results. It's never sustainable. It's never coherent. It's never consistent. It's always, as you said, enthusiasm and momentum. And we've been lucky because Ole has been lucky because those good patches came at almost strategic moment that helped him keep his job. But when you if you look at it like from the bigger, from more globally, it has never been good enough. It has never been good enough.
Absolutely. Charlie, I want to ask you the question about the players. You reckon I see Ronaldo apparently reports that he's wanted to keep the morale high, but sometimes I feel like, is that maybe come from a selfish point of view where he's just thinking about himself and the goals he wants to get and the accolades and the personal achievements to kind of, Ronaldo doesn't want to be a player who suffers as well. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to go on a goal scoring drought where he's on 4 or 5 games and everyone says he's finished and all that. So I think sometimes it comes from that. But do you reckon the players have had enough now? They looked very, very despondent. Players looking like they just don't know what their plan is. Cavani, I don't know if you've seen that image from Cavani. He's saying to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, "Are you sure you want to play 2 up front? You've got you've got a man red carded. Is that the right way?" It's something like people are just baffled, and the players are baffled by his kind of management of the team.
Yeah, well, we had some reports, didn't we, about only a few players. Obviously, you don't know how true these things are because the Pogba thing. Pogba's come out today, hasn't he, and said that it's false, fake news, and everything. But apparently, there are only a few. That a lot of the players were, didn't really believe in him anymore, and apparently there were only a few that did, and there were like 4 or 5. And I think we all know sort of who those 5 are. Well, we know a few of them. We sort of know who they are. But yeah, the players will know. The players will know. I mean, I think a report came out about they were baffled that certain players haven't been used. And I've been saying this. I've been saying this for about a year. Nemanja Matic, as Adam said, I've been saying for about a year. Nemanja Matic, how he hasn't been used more is beyond me. And because he hasn't been used, most people, most supporters were going, "Oh, he's finished. His legs have gone," and they always back the manager's decision.
Exactly.
Absolutely,
because he was never actually given a chance. It's like Van der Beek. I've seen reports saying Van der Beek isn't good enough for Man United.
Yeah.
No, Van der Beek is too good for this Man United sort of manager because he is a different sort of player. He's not a player that's going to hoist the ball up. He needs some nice build-up play. He needs combinations, and we don't have that. So I think a lot of the players would have known for a long time. It's just that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a nice person, and they don't want to stop playing for the club. So it's a really hard situation. But the players will sort of know in the back of their minds that it's going to be over soon, I think. But also, talking about Ronaldo and the morale, for when the new manager comes in, we want the morale in the team to be good. You know what I mean? We don't want players falling out with each other. We want players pushing each other. Although a lot of the fans don't want Ole anymore, and we know he's probably going to leave, almost certainly. It's still good we need to make sure that these players are still. We need to make sure they're still playing to their maximum ability and still training to their maximum ability. Because when that new manager comes in, if it's Conte and half of these players have been fucking about for the last few months, Conte ain't going to stand for that. Conte is, these players need to impress. Conte will be watching. Conte will be watching. He wants it. Whether he'll get it, we don't know. But I don't agree. I think the players they have to still put everything in for the club. And it's a really hard situation to be in, because it's like if you've got a boss that if you're an employee, if you're a worker, and you don't have full belief in your boss, but you still need to get the work done. If you're hearing that a new boss is coming in, you still need to get the work done. I think that's what these players need to do. I think they don't down tools. I think they just need to keep going. Even if you don't believe in Ole, he is going to go soon. I think I agree with Adam on that. I think the tactically against Tottenham in particular, I just don't. Tottenham with Højbjerg and Skip in midfield, I think they'll dominate the ball. If we play McTominay and Fred, I think they'll have a lot of the ball, and I think they'll probably score a few passes with Kane and Son. So
they've always got them too deadly up front, and I think they'll be more coherent up front. To be honest with you, I've seen them at Newcastle. I think they'll do what they have to do. Musa, I wrote a tweet yesterday which kind of rattled a lot of people. And it was to do with Alex Ferguson, and I think it's, I didn't even say anything that was disrespectful. I said Alex Ferguson is becoming a problem, and not in a way where he is a problem. I'm talking about in a way where he's been led. A lot of decisions it's down to him, and people can say, well, it's different reports and whatnot. All I'm saying is there's been so many key decisions Alex Ferguson has been having to make in the expense of the Glazers, who shadow and they hide behind him, and they know that if he makes a decision, it's for the good of the club. And everyone can say, well, Alex Ferguson given us all this success. He's right. You know what I mean? And for me, I respect and I love, he gave me some of the best years, Alex Ferguson. I'm not trying to put any kind of down or blame towards him and his mess here. But there have been key contributions where him appointing Moyes, him now getting involved with coming into training. I for me, find that crazy, because I don't see any other top clubs in the world doing that. Even Arsenal, that we call banter club, they said bye-bye to Arsene Wenger. And now he's doing stuff for beIN Sports and all that. I've said Alex Ferguson, for the great years, should not be making decisions for Man United right now. He shouldn't be saying, oh, you know what, give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer time because he managed him. He's a good lad. He's a good kid. Give him time, give him patience. The DNA and all that. For me, that's gone. And a lot of people, are kind of blinded towards that, thinking that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will become Alex Ferguson, and that's the mold that they want to do. And that's why I said it's a problem, because he's making decisions, or he's coming in and making key judgment when we have Murtough. Where's this Murtough guy we're talking about? Where's Darren Fletcher? Where's all these guys who are meant to be making football decisions? Everyone was saying John Murtough madness. What is he doing? Where is he involved in this? So that's why I was like, Alex Ferguson to step back and, just enjoy his retirement, man. You know what I mean? Why are we letting him stress over United at his age?
It's difficult, man, because I feel like with Alex, he's definitely been used for the betterment of the PR for the club. But I just feel like also at the same time, it's like, I feel like he's just feeling like any way he can help, and I feel like because they're not, like, example, if they make a bold decision and they have this meeting and they chop Ole, Alex can't do nothing about that. But they have this meeting and they're looking like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? then they end up all looking at Alex. Alex, what do you think? Obviously, Alex is going to be like, yeah, let's give him another chance. Tottenham next game. He's not going to be like, let's get rid of Ole. That's one of his boys. You know what I'm saying? Like Alex knows.
Killing us, man.
Yeah, but that's because, but it shouldn't get to Alex. It shows you the structure of our club shouldn't get to Alex.
Exactly.
If you're having the fact that they called a meeting, they should have just been like, cool, let's have this meeting. And the meeting should have been about who do we appoint. It should have had 2, 4, 3 managers on the table. Who are we appointing as Ole's successor? not whether Ollie's in or Ollie. No, Ollie's gone. We're having a meeting now. Who do we appoint? Then you can have that conversation maybe with Alex if you want to, but it shouldn't be made public. But they should be thinking about appointing someone new. So with Alex thing, yes, he's becoming a bit of a problem. But then at the same time, when Ronaldo's going City, Alex makes the call. Ronaldo comes, and it's like, yeah,
man,
Alex
that's
is the
crazy.
man. So it's just difficult. But I just feel like with United and where we are now, and where Ollie is, I just feel like they're just longing it out. But even with the manager, and I'm looking at bringing someone in like Conte, whether it is our favourite or not. But from what I know and what I remember from Conte is the man that he makes people train twice a day and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's on this train like, because there's one thing that our players haven't been doing for a long time, and they haven't been getting busy. Like as good as they are, and we know that, they have these demands haven't been on them. So I don't think I see Conte, and I think this is a long-term situation. But I don't think Man United right now need a manager on a long. Like I don't think we need a long-term manager. I feel to an extent that we need someone to come and fill in an 18-month gap, and to just kind of also get players back to a level of seriousness where they've like, not to disrespect Ollie, but they've just had 2.5 years of someone learning on the job, and there's some of our young players who've had 2 years of no growth. Greenwood hasn't changed as a player. Exactly. Yeah, Rashford, Martial, who else is in there? Some of their young players. None of them have grown. None of them have been around seriousness in terms of top level coaching to grow. We're still seeing them do the same things. We're still seeing Rashford making like wrong decisions and like, you know what I'm saying, needing 2 or 3, 4 chances to put it in the back. Like it's the same Rashford that we've always known. They haven't gone on to another level. So when I look at Conte and I look at the demand that he puts on players, naturally these players are gifted. Naturally, Martial, if he drops the shoulder, he's just going to put it in top bins. Naturally, that's what he does. But the other aspects of going the extra mile, the mental aspect of knowing that it's mind over matter and that you can push through those barriers and make things happen, they need a manager like Conte who don't play games, and also a manager who, on the touchline, he's going to be on stuff. We need someone off the bench because every time I've seen him, he's like a pit bull or something. He's just on it on the touchline, and I think we just need that. So for me, I think he's the right man to come in right now and to give and I think everyone gets a chance, because the players that don't work hard or think, there's going to be no excuses. You have to, like, we all know you're talented. It's time to work hard, you know, and I don't think Conte is going to be a manager where we sit there, we think, why did he pick him? We're going to know that it's justified. There's going to be selections. Some of our top guys are not going to play. It might be Rashford might not play, or it might be Sancho that might be out. We need that, Musa. We need that. We need that. And we need to also believe in the decisions that are being made. And then on top of that, we need to know that we have a manager who, wherever he's gone, if he's been promised things, no matter how good they're doing, he'll keep it moving. He'll leave. Yeah, if you promise me A, B, and C and you don't bring it, all right, cool, I'm gone. He's not. There you go. He's not playing that, and we need that.
Yeah, there's so much benefits now of this new change, you know, of a manager, Adam. You know, when you look at it, no favorites, a cultural reset, winning mentality. You know, the fact that players don't know if they're playing next game or not. They have to push. They have to keep training. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said there's not enough time on the training. You know, it's baffling how much comments Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got away with. You know, he said he don't coach a team. You don't remember that, Adam?
Which one he said?
I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said we don't have enough time on the training ground. He said, I'm not the coach. I only manage the play. There's so many things that have gone in this Ole Gunnar Solskjaer reign, which everyone needs a cultural reset. Everyone needs to know the understanding of winning. Everyone needs to understand the winning of how coaching is done. We don't see no coaching videos on YouTube.
He said we're rock bottom the other day. He said Man United is rock bottom, but we're very close. We can't give up. He's taking.
Oh my God, he's taking liberties, Adam, and that's the thing, man. And that's what a lot of people will get under Conte, is that we'll get at least a coach that will coach these players. Exactly. And no matter what system we do, they know that when it pulls off, everyone will buy into it. Nobody buys into what we're doing right now with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Exactly, because look, we wanted Jose to leave, and we wanted Van Gaal to leave, and we want Ole to leave. But the difference with all of those managers is I know for a fact that I'm not more competent than Ole, than Jose, and then Luis Van Gaal.
Yeah, I know.
With Ole, like we feel like maybe we know better. Maybe that's the problem we have. And as you said, and this is a point that I wanted to talk about last time. And as you said, about the winning mentality, and we touched on that, like Rooney and Ronaldo, they came into a winning team. That's why they became the monsters they became. And just like Rio came into a winning team, and Scholes and Giggs and the class of '92, they came into the into Sir Alex first winning team. That's why they became the mentality monsters they became. And you bring in Martial, Rashford, Greenwood, they should have been embedded into a winning team to fulfill that potential of theirs. And why are Manchester United the biggest? Why is Manchester United the biggest club on the planet? It's because we have that perfect balance, that blend of success and glory at the very highest level, mixed with tradition and respect and everything that comes with that. And you cannot have one or the other, because if you take away the tradition and the respect, and they talk about DNA, I don't buy into DNA, but we are a special club just in that regard. If you take away that aspect, we become like Real Madrid. They boo their legends. They're a big club, and they're still considered a huge club, but they don't have that same appeal to the fans, because they don't have that class that Manchester United have, because of the Munich air disaster, because of the Busby base, because of Sir Alex. And you need to blend the tradition to the success. But if you don't have the success, you're no different to Sheffield Wednesday, to some other club that have that tradition, the core fan base that goes every time. You know, they bring in academy players.
Newcastle,
you need both. You need the success at the very highest level mixed with the tradition we have. And even if we don't have the most trophies compared, for example, to Barcelona or Real Madrid, we are still the biggest club on the planet because of that, because we are everything. Manchester United, everything. And this is why we are Manchester United. And if you take away the success, you're not as big. If you take away the tradition, you're not as big. We need both. We need to bring back both. And at this moment in time, we are still an absolutely enormous club. But we need
massive.
We need to win. People don't grasp how big Manchester United is, because look, I woke up at 9 to do this, at 8 to do this podcast. I live in a small town in Quebec, Canada. And look, you're talking about people don't grasp the impact Manchester United has. My dad was born in Morocco. I'm from a Moroccan background. My dad fell in love with Manchester United. He was 7 or 8, because growing up in the streets of Casablanca, he heard about someone winning a ball made out of gold, and that was George Best. And when you're a kid and you hear that someone is winning a ball made out of gold, you're like, well, that's your imagination, isn't it? And from that moment on, my dad just became a Manchester United fan in '68. And he in the English literature, he's a worldwide expert renowned in William Shakespeare. He made conferences everywhere around the globe in William Shakespeare, English literature. I've watched Downton Abbey twice. I listened to UK Dread, and I watched Line of Duty. So everything I know, I grew up in English as well, you know. So Manchester United is part of that culture. We wake up every weekend at 7 to watch Manchester United. Ever since the day I was born. My dad, my little brother, I did, you know him. He was born in '99. Never missed a game. From '99 to this day, never missed a game. So this is what we don't grasp. We need to win if we want to keep the tradition. We need both. We need both. And this is important.
Yeah. That was my next point, or next question to Charlie there is, what is the actual identity of United now? Like, I'm struggling to understand it, you know, because, you know, we're stuck in the past, but then I'm thinking, what is the future for United? Because it could be a scary one, man. And you know what I mean? And I was almost think, you know, the next manager, having a winning mentality, the next manager, and then maybe, like Moses said, 2 years, and then you bring in maybe a Ten Hag who can follow the traditions of Man United of what they were doing in terms of, you know, the DNA. And to be honest with you, I still don't believe in this DNA, because I feel like Alex Ferguson was just a genius. Okay, somewhat buzzed me, but I wasn't there in somewhat buzzed me time, so I can't fully grasp what he fully meant, Matt Busby. But Alex Ferguson, I knew it. You know, I knew what it stood for. I knew what the club stood for. Right now, I don't know what this club stands for, and I think it's a lot of PR, like Musa says, a lot of kind of like bringing Alex Ferguson in. You know, there's a lot of things that are happening. Legends like Gary Neville, you know, speaking out, and it just feels for me like they're trying to keep this tradition in, but it's slowly fading away. We're not. Every club now has 3-4 years, and then that's that. We need to join the party, and we need to become that club, because at the end of the day, success can be earned in 2 or 3 years, you know?
Yeah. And what Musa said was funny about in the boardroom saying, what do you think? But that's what happens in the changing room as well.
Yeah.
That's what happens in the changing room. Ollie says to Carrick, "What do you think, Carrick?" And then Carrick asks, "Okay, what do you think, Kieran?" And then Kieran, "What do you think, Phelan?" What do you think, Freddie, McTominay, Rashi, all this all these fucking
all this stuff.
And somebody said, "What does Darren Fletcher do?" Well, he puts his boots on and gets involved in the training and in the warm-ups. He plays the little rondos with the players because I watched it on against Liverpool. That's what he does.
He loves it. He loves playing with Ronaldo.
Of them.
That's another thing, Charlie. The training again was shocking again. Players already running to do the shooting. And then you have Liverpool players. You know what they were doing? You see them, they were all in like two lines. So one on this side, one on that side. And they're passing to each other. So they're trying to keep the rhythm of keeping the ball. You know what I mean? Like control passing. They were doing something. And then United players were straight away itching to have shooting practice. Again, Charlie, just to... Sorry to cut you off again there, mate.
Well, I do worry about long term because we've got to look who's in charge of the club. And I've just read a news report from a journalist today that said about Conte and why they're a little bit reluctant. And it said something like the board would feel they wouldn't be able to dictate to Conte, and that's what the board want to do. The board want a yes man who's going to protect them, like Ollie has, who's not going to call them out. If Conte came. And you've got to remember, Conte wants to come in. He wants to bring all his own coaches. He wants to make his own decisions. He wants to bring all of his own signings in. He doesn't want anyone telling him what to do. Within a few months, Conte will call their shit out and embarrass them in public. And that's why they're a little bit iffy on Conte. And also, part of the report said that they're worried about another thing happening with Mourinho's signings. But if you actually look at Ollie's signings, This rebuild, when Ronaldo was brought in, and we all love Ronaldo, but this completely broke the rebuild for me. Ronaldo is a huge problem for us, I think. I think he's a massive problem because we're in a situation where Conte will have the balls to do it, but Ollie very rarely dropped Ronaldo. And when he did drop Ronaldo, we didn't win. So for every game after this, Ollie's going to have to play Ronaldo and off the ball. With Ronaldo or not, with Ronaldo up at striker, it's just so hard to press as a team. So therefore, Ollie's tried to sit back as a unit, but we're so poor defending as a unit because we don't defend in blocks. So we actually don't do either. We'd be better off pressing the hell out of them and trying to make them make some mistakes. We'd probably do better doing that if Varane were to come back in. But in terms of the long-term projects, I just don't understand. I really don't. I'm a bit worried because we all know the Glazers only care about one thing and one thing only. And there is just I just don't see where we're going to go with it now. If Conte were to come in, I think we would win some trophies. But then, as I said, I think Conte and the Glazers is an accident waiting to happen, unfortunately. And I think that'll end badly, even if we do get success. But then what do we do after Conte? You know, Ronaldo's gone, Cavani's gone, De Gea's out of his prime, Varane's out of his prime, Pogba's probably left. Bruno's 30. Who else have we got that's old?
Even Fred's 29.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, we could talk about
33. Yeah,
we could talk about who we want to play all we like, but if you actually look at the structure of the club, even if we do get success, I just worry for us because if you look at the other clubs, that everybody seems to have a plan. That we just don't have a plan. And our plan was this DNA rubbish, people inside the club. But that's gone wrong, and Conte will come in and probably get us some success, but we don't have a plan, and that's the problem. We just don't have a model. I think Adam mentioned before about the Salzburg and Leipzig, their model, and Brentford are a great example as well. Brentford, they have a proper model. You know, Brentford, they do all this analytics. They sign some fantastic players. They boost their value. They move them on. I mean, then they sold Watkins and they got Ivan Toney now, equally as a capable player. You know what I'm saying? So we just don't have a plan, unfortunately, and that does worry me.
Same with you, Wilson. You know what I mean? It's a bit worrying now. You know what I mean? With the Tottenham game, you know, it's kind of almost like, you know, he could get a win there, but you know, the worst thing about this all is I don't know if I can celebrate the Tottenham if they score. You know, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I can celebrate. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. It's like everyone's emotionally drained, man. How can you get up for a game like that? How can you say one win and, you know what I mean, we're back? You know what I mean? United are back, you know? And then you go to Man City, and I tell you what, man, Liverpool, I was there at the game, Charlie was there. They took the foot off the gas, mate. They were doing Ole's in the 70th minute. They're taking the piss out of us.
Yeah.
You know, Man City, and people say to me, Pep Guardiola always like, Ole's got a number, Pep Guardiola. Listen, there were circumstances to this, you know. The one, when they got the penalty, they literally just lost the whole game. And fair enough, we played hard to beat, and then we got the goal at the end. The one before the lockdown, Adam talks about, they had Fernandinho, Otamendi at the back. You know what I mean? They had, I think they dropped De Bruyne or whatever anyway. But this won't happen again with Guardiola, with the likes of Bernardo Silva in the form of his life, Grealish. Listen, they've got an abundance of talent. It's almost like we have to suffer now.
Listen, Liverpool was at 70% when they turned us over 5-0. It was at 70%. This wasn't the Liverpool that I'm used to seeing, just on it. They didn't have to be. And I think you said something a minute ago, Said, when you said that you think we should go for Conte than the Ajax manager. I think if we had some type of anything about us, what that would do, it would get the players up to par and get us in some trophies. And then those older players who will be getting ready to move on to their next, wherever they want to go on to further their last contract, will then allow the Ajax manager to come in and work with some of the most talented young players that we have anyway.
Absolutely.
We've got coming through like with Ahmed, and then we got the other guy, the other midfielder, what's his name again?
Majebri.
Like there's young players still there. Then we still got Greenwood.
But then,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
a good question,
We still got Sancho. We still got those players. So a manager like that, after us having some winning, you know, bringing back some type of culture and like Adam was saying, of the club and winning something with someone like Conte, a manager like that would then be able to continue playing attractive football. Might be different from Conte's football, but it will still be forward, attractive, winning with some of the young players. And we might give him a chance, but the club has to have that vision that, okay, we're going to get the best out of these lot at this age. Then we're going to get someone else in who's going to bring in these new young players who's doing that now at Ajax and can take us forward. And it's just having a thought process. But I just don't back Man United to do that, because I'm looking at the game with Tottenham, like you mentioned. Who does Ole start? Ole can't bring if I was Van der Beek, I'm not playing against Tottenham.
Don't play.
I'm not playing. I'm not playing. Yeah, so who are you going to play? And then you have to think about the team that lost against the teams that's lost recently. These are Ole's. This is Ole. Like Ole, McTominay and Fred is Ole's best two midfielders. If you ask Ole, what's your best team at Man United? It's McTominay and Fred. It's Wan-Bissaka at right back. It's Luke Shaw left back, and it's the two centre backs that we had before Varane. That's his favourite team, and those players and that team is the team that can't do the job. So then where does he go? Because if he starts to bring in Bailly, Donny van der Beek, and other players that he's left out, people are like, how's that going to work? Because you don't trust these players. You've shown them for the last 18 months or so. You don't really trust them. How do you trust them now?
He's lost either way, you know.
He's lost. You know what I'm saying?
Either way.
He's gone, bro. There's no way. That's why I said Alex is just giving him more rope to hang himself, because that team, listen, if he plays that team against Tottenham, we're losing. And if he plays the boys that he hasn't been playing, they've down tools.
They've down tools, yeah. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? For me, Adam, it's kind of a toxic environment, you know, like Moses playing the thing there. You wouldn't want to play Donny. You know, why would Donny want to play? Bailly, you know what I mean? Saving his ass. You know what I mean? Would he want to play? You know, there's so many problems that have been created in this Ole Gunnar Solskjaer reign. And there is still hope, you know, because, you know, I look at even the academy, you know, it's only Mason Greenwood that's really, really grown under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's reign. Who else has really come out of their reign? Nobody. You know, he talks about this academy in this day and age. There's not really been there. But there's also hope that we've got players like Diallo who's not kicked the game yet. Yeah. I know he's been injured. You know, like I'm looking at players, I'm thinking, wow, Sancho not kicked the ball. Donny van der Beek. You know, even I'm looking at, I know it sounds crazy, but even like players like Juan Mata could possibly have a role if they were told what to do.
It's not crazy.
They could. Juan Mata's a baller. I don't think people understand. If they got told and they had Juan Mata again is another player that's been failed by managers who don't want to play with smart players like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if Ronaldo can do a job, why can't Cavani, who's younger, Matic, who's younger, Mata, who's young, why can't they, bro? Man, people are going on like Matic, Mata, and Cavani don't look after themselves?
Yeah.
Are they the type of players that don't look after themselves? Are they the type of drinking, going? That's not them. These are players that are similar to what we're not. They all look after themselves. They still got something to offer. And if they don't have something to offer, do what Pep does. Move them on. I'm looking at players like even Sancho, when everyone said Sancho done the right thing, and the other guy, the other kid that City should have left as well. What's his name now? That's tearing it up. On the he's playing forward. No, the other one, the City kid.
Foden.
Foden, yeah, Foden stayed, and everyone was laughing, saying he should have left. Look at Sancho, he's done well at Dortmund, he's done all of that. But then because Foden stayed, because he had a proper manager who had a plan for him. Now, if you look at it now and see where Sancho is and where Foden is, so what was right, what was wrong? Do you know what I'm saying? Was it
really?
Do you know what I'm saying? Because now Sancho's made that big move. Foden's still at a big club. He's winning trophies. He's won trophies last season. He's won the Premier League title. And he's now playing for a fantastic coach. And he's doing good things. Where are we?
Yeah,
Problem.
Same question. Yeah, same question to, in terms of Adam, like there's like, the guidance of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and the next few games, I just don't see, like, win, lose or draw. It's a very, very toxic. Someone made a call in yesterday, on my channel, and that's probably the most truest word I've ever heard. He goes, "This club is, in terms of the ownership, has been the most toxic, not the fans, because they made us feel like this. There's people actually saying, I want to lose against Tottenham, I want to lose against Man City." The club, our emotions should be taken out of one side and said, you know what? The club should have went, you know what? Right, this man is not the right man for the job. We're bringing a new manager. They've created these feelings around the club, because we're having to suffer. So it's like almost as if now, people are, and also, by the way, you watch the games at a later time. We're in the UK, we watch it at a reasonable time. But imagine having to watch it at 1 a.m. in the morning and then you get it 5-0. And it's like,
yeah, it's mad. It's mad.
And you're just thinking, next game, I can't be bothered. Let him lose that game. You know what I mean? That's the mentality.
Exactly. And yeah, it is very toxic. It is. And as you said, I don't know. I really don't know what Ole can do for the next game, because if he plays Donny van de Beek, like Musa was saying, if he plays Donny or Eric Bailly, those are all players he didn't. It's borderline disrespectful, if you'll be honest. If he picks Donny van de Beek now, it's a lack of respect, I believe. Why weren't you picking him? And the players, I think the toxicity in the dressing room comes from the fact that players who are not deserving to play played regardless. If the players agreed with the players playing, that would be fine. Because Donny van de Beek and Matic would be okay if Fred and McTominay were like very, very good in midfield. They wouldn't feel disrespected by that, because look, the better players are on the pitch. It's my job to do better. But this is not happening. Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood are not always deserving of a spot in the first team. And same goes for Bruno Fernandes. Harry Maguire doesn't deserve to start and hasn't been deserving of a start for a long time. So I can feel Eric Bailly if what comes out the report is true. Why would you pick an injured Harry Maguire over a fit Eric Bailly? I believe Eric Bailly is better than Harry Maguire by a long shot when they both are fit.
Yeah.
But I would pick it's about you play you play him if he's fit, you don't play. If he's not fit, you don't play him.
Exactly. And it's rare that we get a fit Eric Bailly as well, you know what I mean? And when he is fit and he's on the bench for a while, it's like we don't use him.
Exactly, because look, I don't believe Phil Jones is a top player, but if we have no centre half, I will play Phil Jones before I play McTominay at centre half. Just because Phil Jones is centre half and McTominay isn't.
Yeah. And what do you think that Eric Bailly was more durable? The fact that he's quick and he's, you're looking at the centre backs, Harry Maguire looks like he's getting a bit slower. You would think that, Eric Bailly was more durable. The fact that he can maybe go into his long, he can get to his career of 32, 33 and still probably look with the same player. But Harry Maguire looks like he's on the downward slope. It seems to me.
I just think Harry Maguire, I just think he's all right. I just think he's an okay centre half. This is what I feel. I feel Harry Maguire was supposed to be what Nathan Ake is for City right now. When Manchester City wanted to buy Harry Maguire, they didn't pay the £80 million because he was not that good.
That's true. That's true.
And then they went and they signed Nathan Ake for like 40 something, and he's their third, fourth centre half. I believe this is what they wanted Harry Maguire to be, and that is okay because as a big club that is aiming to win the big trophies,
Harry Maguire is a good centre half to have. He's not your captain, and he's most definitely not the captain of Manchester United. But then again, as we said earlier and we said last week, we are giving out stuff to people who are not deserving of it. And this is why Eric Bailly is frustrated. This is why Donny van de Beek is frustrated. This is why all of the players sat on the bench who are top players, who have a very, very good team, are not happy. Because how can you be, for example, like Jadon Sancho, Paul Pogba, Anthony Martial, happy when you see Rashford play every single time? And Rashford is a good player, don't get me wrong. But he's not at that level. I don't understand how people see it. He is not like...
We can definitely see it. He hides away from the ball, man. That's the worst thing about it. You know, and the thing is as well, you make a good point, Adam, there. You know, and Charlie, Adam, Pogba won't be playing, you know. Pogba won't be playing. So we're going to see, but I think it'll be the same team, to be honest with you, against...
believe so.
I mean, honestly, and again, I think it would be lambs to the slaughter to put Sancho in there, you know, just to kind of like trial and error again. You know, I don't really see him changing it around, which is, again, it's baffling, isn't it, Charlie, that he won't change it around.
Yeah, I honestly, I just don't know what to say anymore. I'm finished. I'm finished with everything. He probably what he'll probably do is he probably will make a couple of changes. I don't think if he keeps it the same, then my God, if he still can't see the problem, then okay. But as I said before, we can talk about players who's going to play all we like, but there isn't a lot of difference. You know, if it's Matic, Van der Beek, and the same front four ahead, they're going to Matic and Van der Beek will still be exposed. They will be left with so much space. Like McTominay and Fred are made to look worse by our system. They're actually McTominay and Fred, I believe, could be good squad players for us. And I think Fred, I rate Fred higher than McTominay, but that's my personal opinion. But I think they can. I think they're both could be good squad players. But people say they're shit or we don't like them, but they're actually made to look worse by the amount of space that we leave them to cover.
Absolutely. But
honestly, I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. Whether he'll go to a back three or whether he'll play a 4-3-3. I don't know what he's going to do.
I think Tottenham's not an easy game, you know, guys. Not an easy game, Tottenham, you know.
Yeah, and it's their midfield.
At home, they've got a good record at home. I think got a good record at home. I don't think they've lost.
They have the quality to hurt us. That's the problem. They have the quality. They have the as Charlie said, Skip and Holbert in midfield, and Son and Harry Kane. They can score goals. This is, and if we're too exposed, well, they will explode the space. It's just normal. I think he'll bring back Pogba, Said, if I'm being honest. I think he'll bring back Pogba into the team because Pogba came out today.
No, his red card, remember?
God.
Yeah, red card. Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's going to revert back to the same formation.
You're right. My bad.
So there's not even well, I mean, Donny van de Beek's probably thinking, bloody hell, I've got a chance here, but you just know Jesse Lingard will be a substitution, Sancho, and then that will be it. Jesse Lingard and Sancho.
Jesse Lingard is a very good. How can you be Donny van de Beek and be okay with Jesse Lingard starting when he's a player you tried to send on loan and you tried to sell?
I know, man. It's crazy.
It doesn't make sense. This is the problem. It doesn't make sense. Jesse Lingard, I don't rate him. I really don't. I really. You have Jesse Lingard. I don't believe. I think he's been given too many chances compared to other players who are deserving at this point of opportunity.
Yeah.
This is my first problem with him. And Jesse Lingard, I think he's arrogant. Every time he scores a goal, and then he starts acting too big. Like he's always growing too big for his boots. Every time he scores or gives an assist or something, and then it goes back to shocking performances. Jesse Lingard.
But he's happy to be there because there's no accountability, is there, Adam? You know, imagine a top club, a top manager would have said, you know what, man, see you later. You know, exactly. I mean, you got you there, see you later. We've got top internationals on the bench, Telles, Donny van de Beek, you know, Martial. We've got players in there on the bench. Cavani, for me, I don't know why, for me, he's not even playing ahead of Ronaldo in certain games. For me, Liverpool game, I don't know about you guys, but that was tailor-made for Cavani to be up front. To Hustle and Harry Van Dijk, to Hustle and Harry, you know, whoever's at the back.
The physical presence, I agree with you. And did you see the red card thing with Cavani?
That's what I was saying. You know, you speak Arabic and explain to them like in terms of like what was going on in terms of
clip, because Pogba was sent off like 3 or 4 minutes before Cavani was brought in. And did you see this, Charlie?
Yeah, was it when Cavani questioned whether We should play with two up front.
Yeah, exactly. Paul Pogba got sent off with the red card, and then the analyst on the channel the dissecting the thing. He sent Cavani and he told them that we were switching to a 4-4-2. But then Cavani was like, all right. And then they made the sign like 4-4-2. Are you serious? And then he brought in the translator and he said, is he saying 4-4-2? Yes. They are just making sure they are understanding what Ole says. And they say, okay, we play 4-4-2. We have a man sent off. And you have Cavani saying, you see the gesture is like 4-4-2 and he makes the red card movement. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the time forgot we had a man sent off. He said he sent Cavani and switched the team to a 4-4-2 with one man missing. I mean, this is the nerves failing. This is not even competence or tactics. He's just losing his shit. This is what happened. He's losing it. He's all over the shop because this is not even not good enough. This is the man is just help him out, and sack him because it's too much for him. It's just too much for him.
And then the worst thing, Charlie, is I don't know if you're on that side, but he puts Pogba on the right hand side to almost track back and then Pogba just went, you know what, I've had enough, mate. And Bruno gave him a bad pass, and he looked like he was just not even bothered about getting sent off.
Yeah, when the tackle came in, originally we were all like up shouting because we everybody had just got so angry. We were shouting this and that, and we all thought he got the ball. And then there was a wait, wasn't there? VAR checking red card, and we thought, oh, this is going to get worse. And then, but I'm just finished at the moment. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to say a lot because I don't know what to say anymore. Like that's what I'm having.
Even if he wins Tottenham, I don't think he'll win Man City. So Tottenham, is it Atalanta after that? Which I think is a tough game because they need to win that as well. Every single team.
If we lose to Atalanta and Villarreal beat Young Boys, we're third in the group again, and we've got to go away to Villarreal, who will play for a point at home to us again, like they did in the Europa League final. They'll play to go to extra time. They did play to go to extra time. They'll play for a point, and then we'll probably be left up to beat Young Boys at home, who will fight for their absolute lives and will remember what happened last time. To get in,
but that's what I mean. Like every club needs something. Tottenham on a bad, they lost their away game. Nuno's under pressure. They need to win. Atalanta need to win. Man City, if they want to win the title and they want to kind of maintain, their positioning with Chelsea, they need to win. Every single club needs to win. So it's almost a case of, everyone just have to just chill out. Maybe we need to chill out.
We just need a reset, mate.
Yeah, and as you said, they all need to win. And the thing is, they are not afraid of us. This is the problem.
Yeah.
It's not like they need to win. They are going to Bayern and to Liverpool. No, like Atalanta, we played against them and they schooled us in the first half. Yes, they lost, but they will not. They will come. When we go to Atalanta, they won't be scared, and we will play at Atalanta in Italy. It will be a very, very difficult game. And I think Atalanta is between Spurs and City, isn't it? Like next week.
In between. Yeah. So we have to go there, then go to Man City, who Man City have kind of practically. I think they pay PSG, don't they? Though they pay PSG, or is it Red Bull?
Check right now. I think last time they played. I don't know, but
they're playing Bruges at home. They're playing Bruges at home, so they can.
They'll rotate the whole team, then, won't they?
They'll rotate the whole bloody team.
But the issue we've got as well is that because we've got Spurs on Saturday, Atalanta on Wednesday, and then City the next
on Saturday, the 12:30 kickoff. By the way,
12:30. He can't get sacked. He
can't get. That's why. So that's why Adam. Charlie can't get sacked.
He will manage the 3 games. There is no chance he's going to be sacked in between because they will not make a change midweek before a European away game. The interesting thing is Conte is Italian and we are playing in Italy, so I've got like fingers crossed, a little bit of hope there.
Come on, Charlie, man, let us know, man. Let us know.
I don't know whether he lives there. I imagine he lives in Italy, but I don't know. I really don't know.
I get now the logistics. It's all about logistics, isn't it, guys? So exactly. They don't want to sack him, and they sack him in 2 weeks. Then at least now international break will be lots of content, lots of excitement. We can all just enjoy the international break of Conte, the unveiling, him coming to Manchester, the press conference. It's going to be lovely, man. So enjoy it, people. In the comments right now, enjoy it, man. Enjoy it, people. And hopefully we see the end of this. But people, we're going to wrap up the Man United Unfiltered podcast. The hour has absolutely flown by. Please, guys, smash a like on the video. I know you guys have been supporting the channel lately. please smash like on the video. This is a new podcast we're building out here. This is podcast episode 4. I just want to give a shout out to the people involved. Adam, where can they find you? Let them know.
On Twitter at Adam Manred, and thanks to everybody. Thanks to you, Saeed, Charlie.
Yeah, big up, man. And Charlie, big up to you. Where can they find you?
Yeah, Threadman Chazza on Twitter, and I've also got a small YouTube account just growing at the minute, so it's exactly the same. But yeah, thanks a lot, Saeed.
No worries, man. I'll put the links in the description, so make sure you go follow these guys. And also Musa, I don't know where he's gone, but he might be busy. So big up to Musa. Make sure you go check him out. Reso CIC. And it's not looking great for United at the minute, but I think hopefully things are about to end. Well, let's see.
Let's hope.
Tic-tac, that's what they say, tic-tac, eh? So we'll see, man. But for now, people, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Peace.